Hi beauty, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title, we have a very important topic today, if not the most important topic that I have ever talked about on my channel. If you are new here, my name is Nina. I am a worthiness guide for women, an author, an artist, a modern renaissance woman, all the things. But I love to coach, teach, and help women lead their best lives by reclaiming their power. So today we're going to talk about why good women get played and how to stop getting played if you're a good woman. And I know you're a good woman because you're on my channel, you're subscribed, you're watching, and you just resonate, right? You resonate with it. So let's jump right in. I have about 5 points for you that are super important. And this is all just data collected over years of working with women, group coaching, one-on-one, retreats, online, all the above, and also my own experience having been raised to be a good woman, being a good woman, and what that felt like when I got played, okay? And if you read my book, you know exactly what I'm talking about, why I even started this whole process, this whole business, this whole coaching um, business and practice that has been open for almost 10 years now, believe it or not. So I'm speaking from personal experience, I'm speaking from my clients' experience, and all of the above for my younger viewers and my older viewers, all ages of women, all races of women, because this is a universal experience. When you are a good girl, a good woman, this is what happens. You get played. And I'm going to tell you how not to get played. So if you're watching this and it hasn't happened for you, thank God. And if you are and it has happened for you, you will resonate with the points that I'm sharing, okay? So let's jump right in. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and drop a brown heart emoji so that I know that you are here, you're listening, you're watching, and you're paying attention, okay? Alrighty, so let's jump in. Number one, and these are not in any particular order, why good women get played. Good women get played because they are accustomed to ignoring, suppressing, or otherwise turning off their emotion. They are used to severing the connection between their feminine energy and their masculine energy. And as a woman, you are dominant in feminine energy. Of course, you have masculine energy, but it's there as like a side thing. Like your main thing is feminine energy. How it expresses itself is totally unique to you. So what people believe feminine energy is and what it actually is usually aren't the same thing. It's not a look, it's not a way you dress. It expresses itself through you in so many different ways. There's no one way to pinpoint, oh, she has feminine energy and she doesn't, based off of looking at someone. So when I say that your main dominant force as a woman is feminine energy, I mean it because you have a literal portal in your body, attached to your body as a part of your body. Okay, so that's your dominant energy, and then you have masculine energy there to support your feminine energy. So when I say that women that are good women and get played are focusing on cutting off, suppressing, or otherwise ignoring their feminine energy or their emotion, is because when you are in that mode of dominant masculine energy as a woman, you have to, at some point, move emotion to the side to quote unquote get things done. However, it becomes this like automatic thing that is unnatural, and you end up like ignoring intuitive signals because you're categorizing it all as emotion or feminine energy or things you can't focus on right now because you have things to get done. That is actually crippling you more than it's helping you. It seems like it's helping you in the moment because you're like, okay, I want to cry about that thing, but I actually don't have any time to cry. So I'm going to file it in a shelf, put it in, put it on a shelf and look at it later. Most times later never comes and it never gets looked at. That is so damaging because you're creating emotional blockages within your body, within your field, within your system. And those things unchecked start to get denser. It starts off very light and then it gets dense as it travels to your physical body, from a spiritual sense to your emotional body. Then it gets to your physical body. And do you know what happens when trapped emotions get solid in your body? Anybody? It becomes dis-ease. It turns into dis-ease. So if you don't handle what your body and your spirit and your emotion are trying to tell you, if you don't pay attention, it will scream at you through dis-ease. So the reason why these good girls and good women get played is because when you let those things sit long enough and they become dis-ease, Now your system, your body is compromised. You are no longer able to move at a normal pace. You're no longer able to be at your optimal state. You're weakened. Your immune system, your body in general is weakened. Your adrenals are everywhere. And then you leave holes in your auric field. You leave holes energetically that lower vibrational energy can seep into. Stay with me. We're not going super woo because I want you to be able to really catch this. When you are not well, there are holes inside of your energy body. Think of them like holes. And things that aren't meant to enter can enter. Like when you get sick and there's bacteria that comes in and you get sick, it's similar. That's just the most dense way of it happening because it's reached the physical plane. But it's already been happening on the spiritual plane. It's already been happening on the emotional plane. So you're leaving ins, you're leaving openings for these things to decrease your ability to hear the divine, to hear your intuition by ignoring it and letting things sit and rot and fester. Don't do that. Okay? When you do that, you allow those things to come in, and sometimes they're through other people. A lot of women experience it through men. They're like, why is this man so, evil? Why is he treating me this bad? Why is he... Babe, you're not treating you good. And it's not an excuse for how somebody else is treating you. But my goal as a woman that works with women is for you to look at you. What is it that you can do for yourself so that you can step into more of your sovereignty, where you're well inside and out? And so a lot of times people will come in and there'll be almost a physical representation of this lack of care and support that we've had for ourselves. And I know that's hard to hear because it takes accountability, but you have to be accountable for what you are and aren't doing, for your spiritual health, your emotional health, all of it. And you can't do it when you're suppressing your emotions, when you're pushing them to the side, when you're shelving them for later. The quicker you feel it and the quicker you allow it to move through you, the more that you can hear your spirit, guidance, direction. You can hear your intuition. But if you let it sit and fester and you don't feel it, it will show up in so many ways and you will end up playing yourself. And that is why good women get played. Okay? Okay. Let's move into number 2 because we have 5. Number 2 is because of this lack of paying attention to the feminine, that it starts to take on the darker form. So I'm going to say this and then I'm going to explain it. Good women get played because when they're not paying attention to their feminine energy and they're only focusing on light feminine, they're doubling down on light feminine, the dark feminine is still there and she is getting pissed because you're not paying attention to her. So she is turning double dark. Like you're focusing on the light and she's like, no, you're going to hear me. You're going to feel me some way or the other. So this ties in with the first one, but I want to focus more now on like the spiritual aspect of it and the energetic aspect of it, because your dark feminine is not going anywhere. She's always been there, whether you've tapped into her or not. And the more that you ignore her, the longer that she feels unheard, unseen, unloved, uncared for, she is going to be building up this rage of like, hear me, see me, feel me, acknowledge me. And that again is going to show up in other people coming into your life and doing certain things and treating you certain ways. And it may not be people, it may be institutions, it may be so many things, right? Experiences that you're having. But it will show up, and it's because the dark feminine will not be ignored. And until you face that side, until you accept that you have a dark side and that it is not bad, it is actually your protector. It is actually what keeps you in balance. It is actually what makes you able to have containment as a woman. If you're not in touch with your dark feminine, it's going to show up. And you're going to know that your dark feminine is pissed when you start feeling resentment, when you start feeling anger, but shoving it down, when you feel all these things that you think are negative and you shove them down, That's your dark feminine trying to get your attention and saying, hey, we're not being treated with respect. Hey, we don't like this. Hey, this person's not good for us. Hey, I'm not happy right now. Are you going to demonize me? Or are you going to let me know that it's okay? Hear me so that I can be chill again, right? Because I'm here to protect you. But are you saying you don't want to be protected? Do you want to be protected? Because when you're not protected, you feel resentful, but you won't let me protect you. So you have to develop this communication and this relationship with your dark feminine. And when you do that, you will not get played. But if you don't, you will see that same dark feminine energy manifest, usually in a man. I see this a lot with my clients. And you will wonder why it seems like he's this energy vampire, this narcissist, this draining person, because he's inhabiting a role that was never meant for him. It was never meant for him. It's you externalizing this dark feminine energy, and he's soaking it up because the woman leads spiritually. And it's not native for him either. So both people are unhappy because they're both in the wrong position. But as the woman, as a spiritual leader, you've got to make a decision to access those parts of you and to face them. We can go super deep into this and go forever, but that is number 2, okay? Let's get into number 3. If you're liking this so far, comment your thoughts. I would love to hear it, okay? All right. Let's get into number 3. Number 3. This one's a big one. Why good women get played. Good women get played because they think everyone is like them. They think everyone has the same capacity as them. And they think everyone has the same God essence running through them as them. They are very myopic. Myopic meaning very nearsighted spiritually, not able to see beyond their own nose. And that is a direct symptom of the ego. And I know we don't like to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it. Women that are good women, good girls, have a lot of God essence flowing through them. I say this all the time. If you watch any of my content, you know my definition of a good girl. Good and God meaning the same thing. Add an O, you got good. Take out an O, you got God, right? So God essence running through you. Good woman. Lots of it. Lots of containment. However, when you are at a place where you can't see anything but you, what does that sound like? That sounds a little bit like ego, doesn't it? And we're not here to demonize the ego. We're not here to say the ego's bad, but we're here to call out what it is. So if you're myopic, you're not able to see past your own nose and everybody you're assuming is like you're missing out on the truth that everyone is not like you. Everyone does not have the same amount of containment. They do not have the same amount of God essence. They do not have the same capacity that you do. You have an insane capacity. Most people cannot even touch the amount of capacity that you have because you were trained, raised to be a good woman. And by definition, that is doubling down on the same concept twice. As a woman, you are naturally already good. You already have God essence. But then you double down on it, good woman. And now we're talking about doubling down on the same energy, which means there's an equal and opposite energy there that's not being used, accessed, or acknowledged, like we talked about in the first 2 points, right? Keep up. So when you think everyone's like you make the mistake of treating everyone in a way of giving them more access than they need, or that they can hold, or that they even require. And that's where resentment comes in when they can't meet you. That's where overcompensating, overgiving, that's where all of this burnout, all of this lives in this one right here. You not being able to see that everyone is not you or like you. And that's a very humbling, and that's a very saddening sometimes realization, but it's the one that will set you free. Okay? Hand in hand with this one is number 4. Are you ready for number 4? Number 4 is that Good women get played because they are identifying with the masculine, which means that they are identifying with illusion. The masculine realm is the realm of illusion. 3D, realm of illusion. 3D is earth plane, by the way. We're going to get slightly woo-woo here, but I know you can handle it because the women in my world are grounded enough to be able to take in some spiritual information without it going like whoop and them getting ungrounded. Okay, you can handle this. I know it. The 3D is the earth plane. The 3D is the plane of illusion. The illusion is that we're human when we're not. We're spirits. We're souls. We're having a human experience. So just by being a human, you're already in the plane of illusion. Okay? And being on earth, being a human, plane of illusion, masculine plane. When you identify with it, you're super reality based. And good women are super reality based. They look at the here and now. What can you do right now? What is possible now? What do I have the capacity to do? What can I build? How much can I do right now? When you are someone that is identifying with the masculine, but you are a woman, you are in illusion. One, because you're not a man. And masculine energy is not your main source, because that's men. They have feminine too, but that's not your main thing. Your main thing is feminine. But you're over-identifying with the secondary energy source, because your main primary is feminine, but you're over-identifying with that, which is an illusion. You're deluding yourself. So what happens when you yourself delude yourself? Everything's going to show that in your reality. Everything in your reality is going to also delude you. Everything in your reality is going to also keep showing you that this is not the truth until you finally discover that it's not, which is when you lean into balance and you lean into integrating the feminine. But until then, you will keep getting played, deluded, because you are not yet in balance. You are not yet in truth. And the truth is, you are a woman and your primary energy source is feminine energy. And feminine energy is infinitely reliable because feminine energy is what all of this was created by. Okay? That's a transmission in and of itself. I don't have to go too deep on that. You can pick it up. And last but definitely not least, number 5. Number 5. And this is going to sound really interesting because it's going to sound almost like it's going against what I just said, but I'm going to tie it all together. Number 5 is that as much as good women think that they are present and in reality, they're actually always in the future. That's going to sound really backwards because you're thinking like, wait, but I'm always based in the here and now, right? Of like, what I can do now, what I can build now, reality, what I can see, do your actions match your words, that kind of thing. But good women under this programming, good girl programming, are always in the future. Their energy is always projected into the future because the future is masculine. The present is feminine. So because their energy is always projected into the future, that's what's dictating what they're doing in the present, not the present itself. Let me say that again. Because their energy is always projected out into the future, always preparing, always making sure, always thinking of safety, always optimizing to lose and to lose graciously, to die safely and quietly. Sound familiar? The energy is always projected into the future. The what ifs, the scenarios, the what could go wrong, the let me bring this just in case. What if it rains? What if it this? What if it that? It's always anxious. Anxiety lives in the future. Depression lives in the past. Peace lives in the present. So these women are always in the future energetically. And it dictates what happens in their present. So their masculine dictates what their feminine is doing. But that's the opposite of the way things go because the feminine created all of this. So when you instead anchor yourself into the present and let the future naturally meet you there, you are now in harmony, you are now in truth, and you are no longer in illusion. That's how you stop getting played. So the reason why good women get played is because this optimization for the future, this always being in the future, makes them blind to the present. And the present is the only reality that actually exists. The past is gone. The future hasn't happened. The present is all that exists. So let's bring this back to men, because I know that that's a big topic with most of the women I work with. We work with men and money, right? That's our big thing we talk about most of the time, because these are reality-based women. So when you're always optimizing for where is this relationship going? Are we going to get married? How many kids are we going to have? What house are we going to live in? Where are we going to live? What's our investment strategy look like? You're optimizing for all of this. Babe, it's the third date. Be so for real. You can ask certain questions, yes. But how much of your energy is ahead and leading? And then you wonder why can't I find a man that leads? Because babe, you're the man. You're leading. You're the leader. And he's taking his role and sitting back and saying, she got it. She's big money. She got it. Do you know why that happens? Any guesses why that happens? Because your energy's in the future instead of being in the present, where you can see everything that is happening, where you can read between the lines of what he's saying. He's telling you, yeah, I got a big job in big tech or in finance. But your intuition is saying he's lying. He's an entry-level financial whatever. He's lying. Something isn't right about this, right? Your intuition is whispering something's not right. I hear what he's saying. Something's not right. But see, when you're not in the present and you're here projecting out a future, you're thinking, okay, finance, he at least makes 6 figures, and that means that if we have kids, and they'll stop. Be present. This is one of those things that I have to make sure that I work with my women on, because when you're always in the future, you miss so much that's happening in the present. And for you to stop getting played, you must be able to pick up what's happening in between the worlds, in between the lines, in between the words, in between the space. You have to be in the void. The void is in between, and that is where the feminine exists. And that is how, when you tap into that, you can quantum leap into a future that you don't have to try hard to optimize. And the only way this happens is when you allow yourself to be in your feminine, safely contained by your masculine, in the present, where your masculine and your feminine are dancing in harmony, and you're able to see what is actually happening and feel into what would be really nice to happen next. What would be really cool? Easeful energy, right? No more trying harder. No more getting angry and resentful. You're here. You're alive. You're present. That's what it's all about. So if you resonated with this, if you are a woman that's like, oh my goodness, I think I'm a good woman, it's not the worst thing in the world. But you know what's better than being a good woman? Being an authentic woman. That's what's better than being a good woman. And if that's a journey that you're on, I would love to invite you not only into the world of my work, but into this frequency. And if you're here, you're already on it, but into this frequency. There's so much here for you. I announced this recently, but my archetype system in my work has evolved. There are now 4 archetypes out of the original 3 that came into my work and my business in 2023. Only one of those original archetypes still stand, and the rest have evolved over the last few years. And I'll make a video on this in the next couple of days, breaking down not only the archetype that was the rich part of the original, the grounded goddess, the original 3, but the other 3, right? Because you guys have heard me talk about the wild heart woman since last year when it came in, but the other 2 are new. So I'm going to name them here so you know what they are, and we'll talk about them later, okay? 1 is the grounded goddess. Most of you watching this are the grounded goddess. 2 is the wild heart woman. A good portion of you watching this are the wild heart women. 3 is the threshold oracle, and 4 is the sovereign. I'm so excited to introduce this to you. I can't even begin to describe how excited I am. This Sunday, we have Play to Win, which is a brand new workshop, a brand new live streamed workshop that I will be doing for you this Sunday, the summer solstice. If you want in, I will drop the link below. If you click on the link, type in the chat area, I'm in, so I know that you're coming. There will be no replay for it. I'll be doing live Q&A, live training, breaking down these transmissions. And you'll be able to ask questions about life, business, love, motherhood, grief, all of it, okay? Do I have anything else for you? The Winner's Circle. The Winner's Circle is my 6-month mentorship, and it is my highest level of working with me. Doors are closing on June 30th, 2026, and there is a special pricing available for my clients that join and apply before June 26th, which is about a week from now, from me filming this. So link will be below. I love you all so much, and as always, stay courageous.